Hello everyone. So good to be in the bright lights here. I am not a martial artist or a Zen monk yet, but my name is Jimmy Stone. I'm the VP Global Head of our creative shop in Meta. The creative shop is a group of awesome creative strategists all over the world. Our job and mission is to explore and democratize the power of creativity in this amazing ecosystem of canvases, if you will. Today, I'm very happy to be here to talk to you guys about a story that is building and over time. And so the team told me, yeah, you have 30 minutes to talk about things. Let's make it actionable that people can open up their books and write a little bit. So yeah, try to be here with your whole mind and heart and spirit, be present in this 28 minutes. That's flying by. I want to talk a bit about multimodal brands. What is this concept of multimodal brands? We live in a multimodal environment where we experience reality around us through the senses. We feel it, we hear it, we smell it, we touch it, we savors. And brands are part of this world. They're becoming even more ubiquitous, more spheric, and it's more connected to the consumer. In fact, brands are becoming, you can savor them. They can become individual. So we need to really start to understand a little bit that more. So I want to unpack it. But before I start, I want to talk about what is a brand. I mean, we are in the epicenter, if you will, of branding with all of you that are brand experts, you know. And we know what a brand is. It's a personality, it's a tone, a voice, it's a set of behaviors, if you will, that leads to reputation, correct? It's a promise. And a great brand is a promise, well kept. We all know that. That's, and it's still exactly what it is. But what is actually changing dramatically is the environment in which that brand operates. That environment is becoming increasingly complex, interconnected, diffracted. This environment is where people come every day, and it's our social platforms. More than 3 billion people come to these platforms every single day to connect to each other, to connect with brands, to connect with their sub-passions and subcultures, and creating the culture of today. And the amount of content that is being created, consumed, and shared is incredibly rapidly accelerating. 3.5 billion reels are shared every single day. That is 40,000 reels a second. You imagine the shareability of what's happening right now. And this proliferation of content is incredibly important, creating billions of content and videos of pieces of content every single day. And sometimes the attention of that content forms the attention into one particular moment. It's the eclipse, the Super Bowl, or Taylor Swift. But no matter what it is, it's also formed by millions of content. You see Taylor in the concert. I see you in the concert seeing it. You see Taylor doing yoga classes. We all see her. But no matter if it's billions of pieces of content forming culture or one culture moment by billions of pieces of content, it's all woven together by the discovery engine AI that is putting the right content to the right audience at the right time. And this AI is becoming incredibly sophisticated. In fact, 50% of the Instagram recommendation today is by AI. So in this environment where the proliferation of content is increasingly, in fact, like I said, 3.5 billion reels are shared every single day. It was 2 billion a year ago. And the sophistication of our discovery engine becoming more and more sophisticated. 50% of the Instagram recommended by AI doubled from last year. In this constant moment of the environment, we have The creator shop goes into this environment and finds the data, the patterns, and the understanding of how to help brands succeed in this complex, diffracted media environment. There's 3 principles that we believe that are critical for brands to succeed in this environment. The first one is to originate, the second is to collaborate with culture, and the third is to create at the speed of culture. Let's unpack it a little bit more. The first one is to originate from culture. Don't translate into culture. You have to originate from the aesthetics, the language, and the grammar of that culture. Right? I always said not every advertising campaign can be socialized, but every social campaign can be advertised. Start from within, culture out. That is super important. And use the language of culture, this culture and this language of, we call the language of reels, this entertainment, relatable, digestible language, and it breaks through. It produces the impact and effect. Leaning into the language of, and the language has a language that embraces the lo-fi aesthetics. But don't confuse lo-fi with low craft. It's lo-fi, high craft. Look at this beautiful stories tell in this language of lo-fi. And also understanding the medium in itself, the sense of intimacy. If you saw it on Monday, the research that we did in terms of what works in this environment of social, the mobile environment, this intimate and immediate medium, understanding human eye-to-eye contact, understand the speed on which people are also swiping and going around our content. The second is to collaborate with culture. Release the grip and collaborate with culture, working with creators and your communities. Creators they know the language of culture and the language of the platform. In fact, there are an incredible culture makers. But what is important is that 63% of young adults believe of what a creator has to say more about the brand, more than the brand itself. And 58% of these young adults have bought a product recommended for a creator in the past months. And their authenticity, their creativity, and their empathy is what makes this connection to their audience. So working with creators is a critical part. And they are a renewable resource. The creators that you follow is different than the creators that I follow, and they're constantly popping up. In fact, some of you are creators already. And this is important to know that it's a difference between that influencers and creators. Creators make. They might have an influence with large numbers of people that follow them, that you can use them, but use them as a partner to create this sense of content that connects with culture and creates diversity in your assets. And last is to create at the speed of culture. As I said, this machine, this discovery engine is getting more and more sophisticated. The more you put, the more diverse, rich content that you put into a machine, the better the system is to finding the right audience at the right time and increasing your audience that you didn't know. We say creative is the new targeting. In this era of automation, where the actual system is capable of finding the correct person at the correct time to look at your audience, creative has become the new targeting. You feed them, you feed the system, the system finds the audience that is for you. So with these 3 principles in mind, to originate from culture, to translate into, to collaborate, release the grip and collaborate with culture, and to produce and create at the speed of culture to maximize the discovery engine. You might say, well, how do I do that? Well, what we think is that you have to start thinking about and evolving this thinking of the brand, big idea. The brand, yes, each brand should have a unifying principle, the ethos of the brand that connects the brand in every action that the brand will have. But this idea of the big idea campaign, where matching executions to a same campaign, we need to evolve that to more of a systems of ideas surrounding the essence of the brand and the big organizing principle of the brand. This is super important because these systems of ideas is what we are seeing that maximizes the power of our discovery engine. In order to create a systems of ideas, organizations needs to operate more like organisms, nimble, flexible, permeable, de-siloing the organization, changing the relationship with the partners, incentivizing them for outcomes, not outputs, and also changing the relationship with content. So you create for people and algorithms at the same time. So lots of brands are leaning into it with us. You know, we're working with brands, big, small, medium brands, leaning into this idea of originating, collaborating, and creating at that speed of culture. McDonald's is a great example of it because it's a brand that has reputation, has years of equity, it's an important, but they're leaning into it. And they're using all those motivations of nostalgia with the grandmother McFlurry, or the nostalgia with the Grimace, or the niche anime for the McDonald's. So they created different ideas and different concepts surrounding by this brand essence or organizing principle of the brand truth that they call. And then they create a series of assets surrounding the entire thing, from reels, static images, polls, interactives. They push and they use the entire ecosystem, moving our audience from the awareness stage to a consideration down to the auctions. They have done a tremendous impact on this, and the last campaign of Grandma McFlurry basically got sold out in like 3-4 weeks. So you might think in this moment, it's like, wow, I have to produce all this content so I get it. You have to do that. We know that that's the way has changed. So you have to produce a lot of content, different motivations, different sets of motivations, and different formats. And so how do I do that? You know, how do I maintain the brand consistency through the ethos? But how do I maintain that with the resources that I have, the time that I have, and the speed that I need to do it, and the cost that I have to do that? So you probably are a little bit overwhelmed with everybody talking about Gen AI and AI. And I'm not going to talk too much about Gen AI because I've been talking about it for years. I'm talking about why, and this is the reason why. You have to produce at that speed, so therefore you need to lean into these amazing tools that are helping you produce that. So this paradigm of quality, speed, and cost, choose two, is becoming obsolete, because really Gen AI is here to break that paradigm. No? So actually, Gen AI is accelerating our ability to originate and create at the actual speed of culture. Okay, so I want to give you some seeds in your minds on when you start leaning into how to work with AI. Demystify that, because yes, AI is everywhere and everything is happening with AI, but it is important to us to know and embrace this from a marketing perspective or from a practitioner perspective. So we see that AI is enhancing this creative workflow. And we are working on understanding each of the stages of the creative workflow. The first one is illumination, bringing insights. The second is ideation, and the third is creation. Let's unpack this a little bit more. In illumination is super important, because then you will be building ideas with data that has been already validating versus creating ideas, and you have to validate the ideas in order to throw that content into the world, you know, or to share it to the world. This way you can understand more. So what we're seeing is, obviously, we have been using machine learning to understand for many, many, many years in Meta, and many companies also understand this piece of illumination and getting insights from it. But yes, we have seen how the mechanical features of format and aspect ratio is super important for a performance of the ad in itself. If it fits in the correct aspect ratio, it works better if it doesn't. But LLMs and with multimodality features are now giving us even more insights of what is inside the frame. How awesome is this? And this is happening in our lifetime in this moment. We're able to see things like settings, captions, characters, text overlay, products. We can actually see that there is 3 women and there's a bottle, there's a coffee, there is a mountain. We know what is inside the frame. That is pretty amazing. But what is even more amazing is that LLMs with multimodality is capable to give us more thematic features of the ad, like emotions. You know, it's capable of knowing if an ad has humor, worked better or worse than an ad that didn't have humor. And very soon, I believe, it's going to be able to illuminate if the ad was funny or not. How awesome is that? But it's also giving us all these motivators that is allowing us to understand more about what is happening in our brand and what is motivating our audience. Okay? And using that same technology throughout the ecosystem or the verticals of that particular example of here in this beauty and hair care, you know, that I am giving you as an example, you know, you are able to then create motivators. In this case, we have able to, this is a actual process, but an example brand. But, you know, we are able to know that in this particular category, nostalgia is a very important motivator. So much so that it's 28% more conversions per dollar. So it's a very important motivator. But we're able to uncover cultural trends that are happening in this motivator. Ancestral beauty is something that is very important, or beauty through the decades, this understanding of videos that are creating decades of hair makeup trends in a few seconds. You know, it's popping up and it's working in the ad settings. Or at the platform conversations, you know, what's happening with the platform in itself, like music is a powerful conduit for nostalgia. What musics are playing? So you can use those type of musics to help with this. So think about it. Then you unearth a couple of motivators surrounding your brand essence, you know, and your brand ethos. And then you start saying, okay, nostalgia is an awesome motivator. Community is also a great motivator, and individuality is another motivator, and status is another motivator. So you start to building these systems of ideas. Then you go with all the motivators in front of you, and with all these amazing, rich insights. And remember, insights, validated insights. You start in the process of ideation. There's many tools out there for ideation, many, popping everywhere. Don't feel overwhelmed. Just use them. Use them, all the tools that you have at your disposal. See which one works for you and your systems. Of course, I am going to use Meta AI because it's what we explore in the Creative Shop with this amazing product. And we basically is, you know, powered by our Llama 3.2. It's my favorite animal, my spirit animal, and it's open source and for free. But we use it to understand the relationship with this new creative companion. We lean into this and try to understand. And what we're finding is that LLMs are amazing at helping you with new audiences and content ideas, or finding hooks, or surfacing the reels, or discovering new creators, or ideas for placements. So it's such an incredible tool to bring all of this after you have all the insights at your disposal. Let me tell you as an example of how we do this process. First of all, we start the process of saying, okay, can you just give me 5 territories based on the motivators? So we prompt. Here's me prompting. We call this process prompt whispering inside my team. But it's a series of prompting. It's almost like a molding that you do with AI, okay? So the agency is on us, on the creativity, on the humans that creates and moves. So this, almost like you're stacking prompts. You're searching with this incredible, powerful tool. So with all in mind, the brand essence, the ethos, and all the motivators of nostalgia, community, individual, and status, help me define 5 rich territories that I can use in the creator focus on hair care. We're going to use this to build a systems of ideas. Our brand can be different, so the brand can differentiate itself from visually and message standpoint. Boom. Gave us this. Hair rituals, community curls, versatile elegance. Wow, and he actually explored it. And it says, explore the personal emotions, connections with hair, care routine, highlights, Lalure's role empowering the self-care and confidence. And by the way, I know everything about hair. I know everything about this category, so I'm telling you. So then you go, okay, thank you for this. Now, collaborate with me as a creative social strategist. Help me identify the adjacent territories so my brand and vertical, hair care, can actually, you see around. That way you just break this sense of everything is the same in the hair category. So help me expand these territories that you know that connects to this hair care territories. Boom. It gives you, obviously, the travel and adventure and explains why, and the wellness and self-care, and the fitness and dance. This way you are able to see the surrounding areas with that motivator and that hair care because your audience is sharing passions. And it's your audience, but it's with different types of passions adjacent to that particular vertical. Then you're saying, okay, that's awesome. Can you please surface? I like when we say please. I love it. It's like, please. You know, as my kid goes and talks about Alexa and talks bad about it, and hey, respect the Alexa. You know, we always need to, yeah, please surface surface a couple of reels that focus on the hair ritual territory. All right, remember this, stacking prompts. It's learning from what you're looking for. And then, and related to the beauty and cosmetic vertical. And then, boom, all the reels starts to come up. And then you start to see and start to break through what is the language of social in this moment. What's happening? What are the trends? How people are talking about it? How these creators are actually emerging all this content. This is important as you create this because it opens the paradigm of where you are around this area. Then you say, okay, great. Now I want you to develop some hooks that utilizes the empathies and the solution structure of the Allure Organic Essence Shampoo. You know, so this one is like, hooks are critical for capturing the attention, you know, in the first 3 seconds, so you keep the attention of the people. And then the team is getting a little more precise by saying, please deliver the results in a table that has a header for the text hooks next to the key visuals and next to it. And it's amazing. You know, it gives you the text hooks. You start to see things, and this is actually real. Then from fizzy to fabulous, organic essential shampoos, Thames Unruly Locks. Okay, and then it says, you know, a before-after script. That's what's working, and that's what the system is saying. This is what is performing. So yes, we know that. I know that very well, that this story types are actually working. And so they go into this moment, and then you go and saying, okay, excellent. Now I need for you to give me like a concept with a 30-second script so I can brief my creators and my agencies and my partners that are working on this. And it provides the entire process, and then in scene 1, 2, and 3, see attention-grabbing hook of 0 to 3 seconds. So now, of course, we are using all of this and using our creativity to move with this creative companion and our teams. But it arrives, gives you all of this information, so you basically form these systems of ideas that we believe that is working tremendously in our platform. Obviously, glued together by your brand essence, your ethos, your brand statement of what it stands for, you know, the organizing principle of that brand. But then you have your insights and your motivators, your territories, and with your territories, you have the ability to collaborate with creators or do your brand assets feed this machine that is incredibly important and powerful to actually make this incredible performance. That's how you build a systems of ideas at the speed of culture. Lastly, is creation. There's so many creative tools out there to create all of this, bring to life all of this strategic thinking. Jump into them, go in, use them, working with your partners, agencies, designer studios, creators. They're all using these tools that will bring these ideas at the speed and the cost and the quality necessary. Now, when you put that into our systems in itself, available for all advertisers right now using our automation products, have even more ability to expand and create even more diversification, like image generation. You put an image and it gives you more images. Or text generation, that it can actually follow the tone of voice of your brand. Or this very important text overlay and image expansion that actually makes your content fly through the interconnected ecosystem of canvases. This is a continuous loop of learning and optimization. This is the new way of marketing and communication. It's constant conversation with your audience. The creative input feeds the auction, the machine, this powerful discovery engine that connects the right content to the right time at the right moment. You extract the great ROI, the learnings, you put it back into the learnings and bring back this process. And this is how you build this a great performance in our platform, and also a multimodal brands, flexible to go and to find your audience no matter where it is, and surround the audience passions through their motivations. And brands are also getting even more individualized with the emergence of amazing MR experiences and the amazing of agents and AI. Brands will become more and more and more individual. Your brand will become my brand and different than your brand, but it's going to be our brand. To end, I want to say that as a leader in this organization, a creative leader in Meta, it is becoming clear to me that creative will be automated. The tasks, the burdensome tasks, the creations of assets, the understanding of a lot of the analytics and thinkings, but creativity never will be. Because it's only the human empathy, intuition, capable of imagining the future that yet to be. So lean into this technology, because our creativity and our empathy to understand and use the technology will never be able to be automated. So this is a great time for the industry to really push this thing forward and to really make our brands perform tremendously in this incredible ecosystem of culture. Thank you so much. Thank you.